There's a house on the bayou where the willows don't stand straight, where the moss hang like a verdict and the water don't negotiate, where 3 generations of hard silence sealed the gate. My grandfather built it from cypress and from dead and darker things. Men came and men went quiet in the shadow that it brings. The house knows every secret, it just never sings. I grew up in those hallways, learning how to hold my face, learning how the powerful move slow and fill up every space, learning that the softest voice can still displace. Black magnolia, sweet and wrong, beautiful as ruin, twice as strong. She blooms in the rot, she roots in the pain, drinks of the darkness like Louisiana rain. Black magnolia, don't you reach for a light. Everything that gorgeous grew up out of something that died in the night. I became my father's shadow and my father's only sin. Took the family business over, let the family business in. Some inheritances, boy, they live beneath your skin. I loved a woman once who smelled of gardenias and truth. She saw the black magnolia growing wild in me from youth. Said you're beautiful and rotten and I can't be your proof. She left on a Tuesday when the air was thick and still. Took nothing but her honesty and left me with the bill. Some departures cost you everything, some departures always will. Well, black magnolia, sweet and wrong, beautiful as ruin, twice as strong. She blooms in the rot, she roots in the pain, drinks of the darkness like Louisiana rain. Black magnolia, don't you reach for a light. Everything that gorgeous grew up out of something that died in the night. That the whole can never know, a phosphorescent darkness in the places the light won't go. I've seen it in the mirror on the mornings moving slow. My grandfather died sitting in his chair beside the water. They say he smiled at something only dying men can order. I think he saw the magnolia, I think he finally caught her. Now I sit in his same chair and I pour his same drink down. Watch the bayou pull the moonlight slowly, slowly toward the ground. The moss moves in the no wind like it's trying not to drown, like it's trying not to drown. I am everything he made me, I'm everything I swore I'd never be. The black magnolia blooms the same, regardless of the man beneath the tree. Black magnolia, sweet and wrong, beautiful as ruin, this is where I belong. She blooms in the rot, she roots in the blame. She is the darkness and the darkness has my name. Black magnolia, everything gorgeous that grew up out of something that died. It died. That died at night.
Out past the last repeater, where the signal turns to bone, where the static holds more gospel than the station's ever on. A man can drive for hours out here and never feel alone, because the ghosts ride shotgun freely where the frequencies go dead. They tune into the silence and they speak inside your head. Out here the road don't lead you anywhere, it leads you back instead. Truck stop at the county line, fluorescent, cold and raw. A waitress with a bruise she's covering, and eyes that seen it all. She poured my coffee black and heavy without being asked at all. This is dead radio country, where the signal meets the gray, where every frequency worth finding was lost to what we gave. I'm tuned to something older now, below the human range. Dead radio country, brother. Nothing out here ever changed. Nothing out here ever changed. I left a city full of people and a life that fit too tight. Left a business built on favors that don't bear the morning light. 3 men knew my forwarding address, 2 of them won't talk right. The whiskey in my thermos has been warm since Shreveport, Louisiana. I've been drinking to the men who tried, drinking to the failure, drinking to the version of myself I couldn't save or savor. There's a frequency between the stations where the lost things congregate. Old debts and old devotions circling like birds above a gate. I let the dial ride the dead zone, let it static meditate. It's dead radio country, where the signal meets the grave, where every frequency worth finding was lost to what we gave. I'm tuned to something older now, below the human range. Dead Nothing out here ever changed. Nothing out here ever changes. My daddy told me once that guilt was just a radio that wouldn't quit, playing songs you have remembered from a life that never fit. I asked him how you turn it off. He said you don't, you just sit. You sit and let it broadcast every frequency of wrong. You let it play the funerals, you let it play the songs. You let it play the names of men until the names ain't strong. Out here between the towns, the sky gets biblical and wide. Stars so thick they look like something trying to get inside. I killed the engine once and said, let the silence be my guide. It didn't absolve me, but Lord, it held me for a while. Lord, it held me for a while. This is dead radio country, where the signal hits the floor, where every man we're listening to don't broadcast anymore. I'm tuned to something ancient now, something low and wide and strange. Dead radio country, brother, where the lost things rearrange. Where the lost things rearrange. Where the lost things finally, finally.
Some wounds don't arrive with noise, they arrive with time. No entry point you'd find, no blood, no crime. Just a slow displacement of everything that's mine. It started with a silence where a voice used to be, then a chair across the table sitting empty facing me, then the whole room rearranging into what I couldn't see. A slow bullet don't ask permission, don't announce its path. It just moves through the architecture of your aftermath, rearranging load-bearing walls with quiet math. A slow bullet, Lord, the kind you don't hear coming. No powder, no report, just the damage and the numbing. By the time you find the wound, the shooter's long since gone. A slow bullet, brother, been traveling since before the dawn. Been traveling since before the dawn. I've been shot at with intention, and I walked away from clean. Took a blade and bowed my own
in the space between 19. Wore them both like medals for the places I had been. But this don't leave a scar that anybody sees. This one moves through dinner conversation, moves through keys, moves through every ordinary morning by degrees. She didn't leave with anger, that would have been a mercy. She left with something worse than that. She left with certainty, the kind of knowing that don't argue and don't need a jury. A slow bullet, Lord, the kind you don't hear coming. No powder, no report, just the damage and the numbing. By the time you find the wound, the shooter's long since gone. A slow bullet, brother, been traveling since before the dawn. There's a physics to the slow one that the fast one never has. It carries all the context and it carries all the jazz. Every conversation that went wrong and every night of rest. A fast bullet takes a moment, the slow one takes a year. Takes the accumulation of every small frontier. Every time you chose the bottle over what was near. I've been sitting with this bullet now for going on 3 years. Felt it move through Sunday morning, felt it move through beers. Felt it find the center of the thing a man most feared. Not death, not pain, not consequence or reckonings due, just the slow arrival of the unobstructed view. That the man who fired this bullet, Lord, was you, was you, was always you. A slow bullet, Lord, the kind I made myself. No one else to charge it to, no one else for help. By the time I found the wound, I'd already been the gun. Slow bullet, brother, and the damage is done. Lord, the damage is done. She was a '69 Chevelle, the color of a bruise. Sat in my dead uncle's garage beneath a decade of bad news. The kind of car that don't get sold, the kind of broken man would choose. I pulled the tarp off slow the way you'd uncut,
something grieved. 400 horses sleeping under rust and unachieved. The engine turned first try like it had something to believe. I drove her out at midnight when the highways cleared to black. No destination, no return, no mirror looking back. Some men find their church in motion. I found mine in that. This is a slow song for a fast car, for the miles that don't come back, for the man who needs the thunder just to quiet down the black. Speed don't solve a single thing, but Lord, it holds a pain. A slow song for a fast car, brother, singing low against the rain, singing low against the rain. I had a life assembled once with furniture and weight, a woman who used both hands to love and both eyes to negotiate. I traded it for motion, left it sitting at the gate. She said, you love the road the way you should have loved this house. I didn't have a contradiction, just the engine and the route. Some truths arrive already knowing what you're about. 3,000 miles of American dark between my ribs. I've outrun conversations, obligations, unpaid bills, but a Chevelle don't outrun the thing that pays and never steals. This is a slow song for a fast car, for the miles that don't come back, for the man who needs the thunder just to quiet down the black. Speed don't solve a single thing, but Lord, it holds a pain. A slow song for a fast car, brother, singing low against the rain, singing low against the rain. My uncle drove this same car on the night his marriage died. Left the keys above the visor, his one remaining pride. Found him in the morning, still and cold and sitting inside, not gone. Just somewhere the Chevelle couldn't carry him, staring at the windshield like a man who'd hit the rim. I understood that morning what it means to run on them. Now I drive for both of us down roads he never found. I keep his photograph above the dash without a sound. 2 men and 1 machine, still working out the ground. The speedometer hits 100 and the world goes clean and wide. Just the engine and the darkness, and my uncle by my side, going nowhere that needs a name, just moving with the tide, just moving with the tide. This is a slow song for a fast car, for the man who couldn't stay, for the thunder and the mercy of 100 miles away. Speed don't heal a single thing, but Lord, it holds a line. A slow song for a fast car, uncle, you're riding with me tonight. Lord, you're riding with me tonight. You're riding with me tonight.
I was finished with the business and the night. Told her I was walking clean into a different kind of light. Told her everything she needed just to keep her holding tight. She believed me like a woman who needs badly to believe, like the truth was just a coat she could take off when she grieved, like my mouth had ever once produced the things she shouldn't leave. I lit a cigarette and watched the smoke curl white then black. The way a good lie starts out clean before it doubles back. White smoke leaving black smoke staying, that's the gift I lack. Black smoke, white lie, same thing leaving different ways. White comes out clean in the morning, black's what lingers for days. I've been blowing white smoke promises since before I knew the cause. Black smoke, white lie, darling, same thing, just one of them's lost. Same thing, just one of them's lost. She packed a bag on Thursday with the patience of the done. No tears, no accusation, just the quiet of someone who finally stopped believing in the rising of your sun. I watched her from the door frame like a man who's seen this film, who knows every line of dialogue and drinks against the trim, who built the very exit that she's walking through on him. She turned once at the bottom of the stairs and held my face, not with love exactly, with the memory of the place. The way you look at something you're removing without trace. Black smoke, white lie, same thing leaving different ways. White comes out clean in the morning, black's what lingers for days. I've been blowing white smoke promises since before I knew the cause. Black smoke, white lie, darling, same thing, just one of them's lost. Same thing, just one of them's lost. There's an architecture to deception that I mastered young. Learned it from my father and his father and their tongue. 3 generations fluent in the white lie, and it's long. We built our houses out of it, our business is our name. Kept the black smoke in the basement, kept the white smoke in the frame. Told ourselves the difference and on about our game. But black smoke finds the ceiling and it finds a window glass. It finds a woman packing and it finds the hour fast. It finds the bottom of the bottle and it finds the things that last. She's 2 blocks gone and I'm still standing in the door. Cigarette burned down to nothing like I've been here before. White smoke, all of it white smoke. Rise and gone and nothing more. Rise and gone and nothing more. Black smoke, white lie, now there's only black. White burned off by Tuesday, black ain't coming back. I've been blowing white smoke promises at everything I've loved. Black smoke, white lie, darling, same fire, just one of them's blood. Oh, same fire, just one of them's blood. Oh. I found it in my shirt pocket, been almost broke. Last one in the pack, last dollar, last of hope. Lit it off a stove, burner like a man. Performing rope. The rain came sideways off the Gulf, like God was making points, drumming on the tin roof of these second-hand joints. The whole state smelled like something wet that rusted all its joints. I've been in Mississippi 3 weeks past my welcome here. Overstayed a favor and outstayed what was clear. The kind of man who lingers when the smart ones disappear. Last cigarette in Mississippi, last match, last alibi, last good reason left for staying. Already said goodbye. I've been burning at both ends, Lord, since somewhere back in June. Last cigarette in Mississippi, burning down too soon. Lord, burning down too soon. There's a woman on Decatur Street who knew me at my best, knew me when I carried something other than this chest. She'd look at me right now and not recognize the rest. I made my calls from payphone just to keep the record clean. Said things I have believed and believed things in between. Mississippi has a way of showing what a man's words mean. The cigarette's down to the filter now, the ember almost gone. The rain lets up like mercy, brief and moving on. Some states just hold you guilty, Mississippi holds you long. Last cigarette in Mississippi, last match, last alibi, last good reason left for staying. Already said goodbye. I've been burning at both ends, Lord, since somewhere back in June. Last cigarette in Mississippi, burning down too soon. Lord, burning down too soon. My daddy drove through Mississippi once and never stopped. Said the air here make promises the ground already dropped. Said some states are just a wound the whole country's got. I laughed at him from 17, I ain't laughing now. Standing in this door frame in the rain without a vow, without a plan, without a name, it still means something how. The bud's gone cold between my fingers, nothing left to pull. Just a filter and a paper and the empty and the full. Just a man in Mississippi when the last light's gone to null. I drop it in a puddle, watch it darken and dissolve. Watch Mississippi take it like it did without resolve. Some endings don't need ceremony, some just need to dissolve. Some just need to dissolve. Last cigarette in Mississippi, last ember, last excuse, last pretense of staying standing, come and finally lose. I've been burning at both ends, Lord, now there ain't no ends to burn. Last cigarette in Mississippi, nowhere left to turn. Lord, nowhere left to turn. church lives out at noon on Sunday, clean and reconciled. I watch them from the gravel lot, the faithful and the mild. I've been past the county line so long I forgot how to be a child. Preacher shook my hand once, said he'd pray for what I'd done. I told him save his breath for men the Lord could still outrun. Some debts don't get forgiven, son, they only come undone. I carry what I've done the way a river carries silt. Not ashamed, exactly something heavier than guilt. A sediment of choices slowly hardening to build. No God past the county line, no grace on this road I ride. Just the weight of what I've carried and the dark on every side. I pray to empty highways and I pray to bottle ride. No God past the county line, brother. Just me and the reason why. Just me and the reason why. I ran an operation out of Natchez for 11 years. Built it floor to ceiling out of other people's fears. Paid my debts in silence and I paid my men in tears. 3 federals came knocking on a cold November dawn. Found nothing but an empty house and everything was gone. Some men build to last, I built to move on before the storm. The whiskey in my bloodstream is the only church I keep. It don't ask for confessions and it don't disturb my sleep. It just burns the county line away and lets me go in deep. No God past the county line, no grace on this road I ride. Just the weight of what I've carried and the dark on every side. I prayed to empty highways and I prayed to bottle ride. No God past the county line, brother. Just me and the reason why. Just me and the reason why. Kept a candle burning every night I was away. 30 years of waxing vigil, that's a lot of light to pay. She died with it still burning on a cold and ordinary day. I drove 800 miles and sat beside her in the ground. Put a bottle on her headstone, only grace I had around. Told her everything I'd done out there beyond the town. The candle was still lit inside, nobody thought to check. I sat and watched it die like a man awaiting a verdict. When it went, the room went darker than I ever would expect. There's your God past the county line. A woman and a flame, a woman and a flame, burning 30 years through every mile of shame. No God past the county line, no grace but maybe one. Just a candle and a mother and the damage that I've done. I prayed to empty highways and I prayed to what she'd say. No God past the county line, mama, but I'm praying here today. Lord, I'm praying here today. I'm still praying here today. Got a half tank of diesel and a river of regret. Headlights cut the darkness like a burning cigarette. I've been driving since the funeral, ain't stopped for sleep yet. Neon signs bleed red on the broken asphalt rain. Every exit that I pass is just another kind of pain. I swallow down the bottle and I swallow down my name. Nobody prays at this speed,
nobody bleeds like this slow.
I got gasoline in my veins where the mercy used to go. The angels cut their engines somewhere back around mile 9. Nobody prays at this speed, baby. Nobody this close to the line. Built an empire out of silence in Louisiana stone. Every man I ever trusted turned to ash and died alone. Now I'm the last one at the table, king without a throne. The rain don't wash you clean out here, just moves the blood around. I watched 3 men go under in this same red Georgia ground. They said I'd pay for what I did. I'm still waiting to be found. Whiskey keeps the engine warm when the conscience starts to freeze. I pour one for the living and I pour one for the dead. I pour the last one slow for every word I never said. Nobody prays at this speed,
nobody bleeds like this slow.
I got gasoline in my veins where the mercy used to go. The angels cut their engines somewhere back around mile 9. Nobody prays at this speed, baby. Nobody this close to the line. Remember everything my mouth refused to say. I built my walls from other men's debts and I made them pay. But there's a hollow in my chest where a soul used to stay. She said you love the dark more than you ever loved the light. I didn't have an answer, so I just drove into the night. Some men choose their ruin, and some men choose to fight. I chose the road, I chose the rain, I chose the bottle over everything again. Nobody prays at this speed,
nobody bleeds like this slow.
I got gasoline in my veins where the mercy used to go.
The angels cut their engines, Lord, they let me go alone. Nobody prays at this speed, baby. Nobody rides this road back home. She came in through the side door of a bar on Decatur Street. Cigarette smoking jasmine and the sound of her own feet. Every man went quiet, not from hunger but from heat. She had eyes like standing water in a ditch after the rain, the kind that reflect everything and still don't show the pain. She'd been through something biblical and walked back out again. I was 3 drinks past my limit and a year past giving right. She sat down across the table like she owned a Louisiana night. Some women carried darkness, she wore a tailored fitted tie. She wore the night like a coat, like it was made for her alone. Like the darkness was a kingdom and her body was the throne. I've seen beautiful destroy a man as quiet as a flood. She wore the night like a coat, darling, and it was lined with someone's blood. She spoke in half sentences, the way dangerous people do. Let the silence do the heavy work and let me fill in what was true. By the time I understood the game, I was already through. She said, every man I've known has tried to save me or to own. I buried both kinds shallow in the same red Georgia lawn. Some confessions ain't a warning, boy, they're just a woman coming home. I poured 2 fingers of bourbon and she drank it like a prayer, like the whiskey was an answer to a question hanging there. Like salvation and destruction wore the same black dress that night, I swear. She wore the night like a coat, like it was made for her alone. Like the darkness was a kingdom and her body was the throne. I've seen beautiful destroy a man as quiet as a flood. She wore the night like a coat, darling, and it was lined with someone's blood. Now I know what the moth feels in the half second before the flame. Not the dying but the wanting and the glory of the claim. She looked at me like I was kindling and she whispered out my name. There are women who will wreck you and they do it without hate. No malice in the architecture of the way they operate. They're just living in a frequency most men can't calibrate. I should've walked back through that side door into ordinary rain, into smaller, safer darkness, into manageable pain. Instead I let her pour the next round, and I never left again. She wore the night like a coat,
like it was cut from something old, like the darkness owed us something, like a debt that can't be told. I've seen ruin come in roses, and I've seen it come in lace. She wore the night like a coat, brother, and I wore her like a grave. She wore the night like a coat. Lord, I never stood a chance. Bought this guitar off a dead man's nephew down in Baton Rouge. He said his uncle played it clean. I said I'd put it to some use, the kind of use a broken man applies when he's got nothing left to lose. She's got a crack along the body, running hip to neck like a seam, like she survived something she won't discuss and learned to play the dream. Like every note she carries has been tempered in the steam. I tune her by the bourbon lighted tables built for one, 6 strings holding 7 cents. The math has always rung, 1 cent left without a string to one place on its own. 6 strings, 7 cents. The last one plays for free. 6 strings, 7 cents. The 7th one is me. I played for bars and back rooms and for altars made of dirt. 6 strings, 7 cents, brother. Every note and another hurt. Every note another hurt. Every note another hurt. I played a funeral in Vicksburg for a man I helped to ruin. His widow asked for something soft. I gave her what I was doing. 3 chords of genuine remorse, dressed up in blues and blue in. She held my hand at graveside in the Mississippi heat. Said he always said you play the truth, said your hands don't cheat. I smiled like a man who knows the difference between truth and complete. The guitar knows the difference, she vibrates at the seam. When I play the story's honest, and when I play the dream, she gives the lies a hollow sound, a beautiful blaspheme. 6 strings, 7 cents. The last one plays for free. 6 strings, 7 cents. The 7th one is me. I played for bars and back rooms and for altars made of dirt. 6 strings, 7 cents, brother. Every note another hurt. Every note another hurt. There's a theology of resonance that preachers never teach. How a note bent slow and deliberate can access what words can't reach. How the space between the strings is where the holy starts to breach. My mother said the blues was devil music, said it opens doors. I told her every door I'd opened only led to more. She prayed above my sleep and I played beneath the floors. Now I carry both inside me like two rivers in one bed. The gospel and the gut bucket running dark and full of dread. The guitar holds them equally, she don't distinguish dead. 6 strings and every string a road I traveled wrong. Every fret a fence I crossed, every chord a consequence a song. The 7th sin don't need a string, it just needs somewhere to belong. It just needs somewhere to belong. Oh, 6 strings, 7 sins. The last one plays me whole. 6 strings, 7 sins. The 7th one's my soul. I played for God and devil and for everything between. 6 strings, 7 sins, brother. Cleanest dirty thing I've ever been. Lord, the cleanest dirty thing I've ever been. The congregation's letting out on Main and Calvary. White shirts in the morning sun, moving slow and carefully. I'm on the opposite side, why, with last night still wearing me. Lipstick on my collar, like a sacrament gone wrong. Bourbon in my bloodstream, keeping last night moving along. I've been singing in the dark, Lord, just a different kind of song. The preacher caught my eye across the hood of his clean car. He didn't judge exactly, just assessed me from afar. We both knew what the other was and how we got this far. Sunday sin, Monday mercy. That's the only faith I own. Sin on Saturday till sunrise, Monday try to atone. The Lord keeps all of his hours that don't match the hours I keep. Sunday sin, Monday mercy, and the long fall in between. Lord, the long fall in between. I woke up in a hotel room in someone else's city. The mirror showed a man who was well past self-pity, past the age of blaming anyone, past asking for your pretty. There was a Bible in the nightstand, like there always is. I opened it to something dark and underlined, not his. Some previous occupant had marked the precipice. I read it in a gray light with my boots still on my feet. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, the whole thing complete. Vanity of vanities, there's some blues I can't repeat. Sunday sin, Monday mercy, that's the only faith I own. Sin on Saturday till sunrise, Monday try to atone. The Lord keeps off his hours that don't match the hours I keep. Sunday sin, Monday mercy, and the long fall in between. Lord, the long fall in between. My grandmother took me to church every Sunday without fail. Pressed my shirt and all my hair and walked me down that trail. Said God don't mind the broken ones, He minds the ones that bail. I've been broken in so many configurations since that pew. Broken ways that don't have names and some that do. But I keep showing up on Mondays, Grandma, just like you. Not to the church exactly, just a something like the light. Just a something in the coffee in the morning and after night. Just a something that resembles the desire to get it right. She's been gone 11 years and I still hear her in the street, in the sound of Sunday morning and the shuffle of church feet, in the way the light on Monday falls, forgiven and complete. Forgiven and complete. Sunday sin, Monday mercy. Grandma, I'm still trying here. Sin runs in the family blood, but so does persevere. The Lord keeps longer hours than I gave Him credit for. Sunday sin, Monday mercy. And I'm knocking on the door. Lord, I'm still knocking on the door. I'm still knocking on the door.
There ain't no snow in West Texas, but the cold gets in your bones. It comes up through the floorboard of these half-abandoned homes. It settles in the chest of every man who dies alone. I drove through Marfa at midnight with a pistol on the seat, $300 cash money and a dead man's name to keep. The kind of debt you carry, son, it don't let you sleep. Refineries burning arms on the black horizon line. I done things for lesser men, for lesser things than mine. You learn real fast in Texas, everything comes with a price and time. The coldest part of Texas ain't a place on any map. It's a space between the trigger and the point of no way back. It's the silence after reckoning, the smoke that won't clear out. The coldest part of Texas, boy, is what you can't live without. I built my reputation on a handshake and a grave. Men called me by my last name, that was all respect they gave. I wore it like a scar tissue, I wore it proud and brave. The whiskey don't taste bitter when you swallow worse than sin. I've sat across from preachers and I've sat across from men. The preachers couldn't look me straight, the sinners always grin.
There's a woman back in El Paso with my photograph burned black. She knew the road I traveled, and she knew I'd not come back. Some love died facing forward, mine died looking at his back. The coldest part of Texas ain't a place on any map. It's a space between the trigger and the point of no way back. It's the silence after reckoning, the smoke that won't clear out. The coldest part of Texas, boy, is what you can't live without. I've seen men beg on their knees on caliche and dry dirt, watch power leave a man's eyes like water through the earth. Told myself it didn't cost me, lied about its worth. Now I'm sitting at a truck stop at the edge of I-10. Coffee black is my intentions, won't be going back again. The mirror shows a stranger, I stop and count to 10. There's a reckoning that travels at the speed of what you've done. Can't outrun your own arithmetic, can't outrun the sun. Every empire built on fear, boy, gets inherited by none. The coldest part of Texas ain't a place on any map. It's a space between the trigger and the point of no way back. It's the silence after everything, the smoke, the ash, the doubt. The coldest part of Texas sun. You're standing in the cold. The coldest part of Texas is all you ever own.
Platform 3 at Union Station, 2 a.m. and freezing cold. I had 2 tickets in my pocket and a story to be told. She said she'd meet me at the gate. That's the last lie I was sold. I watched the conductor check his watch, the way condemned men do. The steam rose off the rails like every ghost I ever knew. The train pulled out at 2:09, I let it pull out too. Stood there in the yellow light till yellow turned to gray. A man with nothing left to board and nowhere left to stay. Some departure, son, ain't about the train that got away. Is the train she didn't care still running through my chair? Stealing, smoking promises she couldn't pass the test. I hear it in the 3 a.m. I hear it in the rain. The train she didn't catch, brother, is the one I can't outrun. Lord, is the one I can't outrun. Found a note 3 days later underneath the whiskey glass. 4 lines about forever and how forever doesn't last. How she loved me like a burning house, completely and too fast. I read it till the paper softened, read it till it tore, read
read it in the dark until the words didn't mean anymore. Some letters are just autopsies of what you're grieving for. I sold the second ticket to a stranger going west. He had that look of running hard, dressed up as interest. I told him nothing, just took the cash and wished him all the rest. It's a train she didn't catch, still running through my chest, stealing, smoking promises. She couldn't pass the test. I hear it in the 3 a.m. I hear it in the rain. The train she didn't catch, brother, is the one I can't outrun. Lord, it's the one I can't outrun. There's a kind of love that operates like rail lines in the cold, fixed and scheduled, heavy, loud, and running to what's told. And a kind that jumps the tracks entirely, burning uncontrolled. She was the second kind, and I knew it from the start. I built a station out of patience, and I called it being smart. She blueprinted the whole damn thing and still couldn't depart. I don't blame her like I used to blame. Takes energy and will, and I spent mine on a bottle and a platform and the chill. Now I move through cities like a schedule, punctual and still. But some nights the whiskey opens up a frequency below, and I hear that train still running through a place I'll never go. 2 tickets in my pocket and nowhere left to show. Nowhere left to show. Is the train she didn't catch still bleeding down the line, stealing, smoking everything I thought was yours and mine. I hear it in the hollow where the good years used to rain. The train she didn't catch